Hey, good morning, Misfits. It is June 10th. For some of us, it's payday. It's June 10th. I hope everybody's having an amazing day. It is Wednesday, episode 475. Can you believe it? 475th show. I appreciate you all. Hope you're having an amazing Wednesday. Hope today brings you more joy and happiness than you know what to do with, so that you know what to do with it when more shows up. So this morning we'll get started here with a little good morning prayer from our dear pink robe lady. Good morning.
You ready?
Ready.
Okay, let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Thank you for bringing us all back together another day for you to bless us and for us to bless others. Thank you for everything that you protected us through the night from and through the day from. Thank you for our families. Thank you for our businesses. Thank you for the lives that have changed because we've showed up and gotten out of the way and letting you use our voice and our hands and our feet to help somebody else. And thank you for helping them. Thank you for the unity you create and the chaos you run away. Thank you for the light that shines so brightly because of you. And thank you for the bright futures and the hope that you have for us. Thank you for everything you bring to us today. Let us be able to bring back to you honor and glory. Let us extend grace and mercy and love and peace to all that come in contact with us. And Father, may you bless us with folks that do that for us too. I ask a special prayer over Sean and his family. Protect them as he continues to walk into the frontier and lead us that way. To be used by you to speak your words and to grow us and to grow himself and his family. I just ask you be over this phone call today, Father. Let it settle in our hearts and in our minds exactly how you want it. And let us sit with you and hear what it is you have to tell each one of us and have a personal conversation with us. And let us all glorify and honor you. And we say all this in the precious name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Good morning, everybody.
Amen.
Appreciate you all being here this morning. Today we're going to be talking about finding your secret sauce. What I always do like to have conversations to hear what's happening inside of folks' good mornings. So Brandon said he had something he wanted to share. Good morning, Brandon.
Good morning to everybody. I just wanted to hop on here because so yesterday I was actually I was going through the day and I literally I had a couple things that I had planned in my to do throughout the day, and then next thing you know, I get a call from somebody talking about my business and different things like that. And so after that, my mind started to really wander because I wanted to do all those three things at one time. And I kind of started to be a little down a little bit because I'm just like, well, which one do I do? Which one do I start? And so throughout the day, I was just thinking about it, just reflecting and different things like that. And later that night, because me and Moshe, we talk almost every day, he called me and we were just talking. And then next thing you know, he was just like, he was going through scriptures with me and different things like that. And then he was like, you know what you should do? You should meditate. He was like, you should meditate. And he said, meditate for 5 minutes, but set your alarm for 15. And so I was just like, okay. And so I did it. And he said, but after you do that, he said to, what did he say? He said to, he said, whatever you thought about, he said to write it down, like journal. And then after you write it down, he said to reverse psychology it. And so I did that. I meditated for it was 12 minutes instead of 5. And then I got to my desk and I started writing down my thoughts. And what I started thinking about was my old business and my old business partners and how right now they're succeeding. And I guess in my mind, I was a little salty because I'm like, oh, I should be there and that should be me and different things like that. But then and I was writing all of this down, but then it was just like, but then why did you leave the business? Because it was multiple things. It was multiple reasons why we left. It's kind of like when you were explaining to Ann about the boyfriend and and Ronald was explaining how he can be handsome or whatever, but then once you start talking to him, you remember why he was pretty much like why you left him. And so it was just like that with my business. It was just like, for one, it was ego, it was greed, it was just a lot of different things that I didn't want to be a part of. And then so when I transitioned, because I moved to Maryland at the time, it was just like I was able to reverse everything in my mind. And then it was just like, oh yeah. And then I just dropped it that easily. But then talking to Moshe this morning, he was saying how we have to look at ourselves as like we're computers. And when any situation that we want to like drop, you can do that same thing and just like drop it. I don't know if Moshe, if you want to add, because I don't know if I explained it the exact way, but that's what we were just talking about before we got on the call. So
Yeah, yeah. Essentially, is the beautiful thing about it is like you're like a computer, and you just can uninstall something from your mind that easily now. So that's essentially the reverse engineering of your thoughts, which is why I love Sean so much. That's what he teaches everybody, and that's why I stay here every single day.
yeah.
I appreciate that, guys, and congratulations, Brennan. Yeah, it's sometimes we forget what we wanted to remember, and we wanted to remember that why we didn't do business with them, because we can see the sexy side of it, but sometimes the sexy isn't what gives us the source. So, yeah, congratulations on that, and the that, what's that anagram? FOMO, fear of missing out, right? That happens a lot in our minds as well. John Assaraf talks about that. Talks about being able to go to the mind and being able to just uninstall it like a file and install it instantly. So that's exactly what you did, what you guys talked about. So awesome. That's great to hear. Good morning, everybody. Again, appreciate you, Brandon. Appreciate you, Moshe. Go ahead and send out your 3 messages of joy, of gratitude, of love. And when you do that, drop a D in the chat. Make sure you're done so you can get that over with and get through with that. And I'd encourage you to send out a couple of extra ones just because the world needs a little bit more loving, and you're somebody that can provide it. You've got some source to do that. Finding your secret sauce. What makes you special? What makes you tick? Murphy's Law, I have no idea where the 28-page PowerPoint went to, but I'm just going to walk through it. Your secret sauce, there's 6 key areas. And I'm going to actually do a webinar training on it. Then I'm going to actually do a training session on it. There's going to be a private Facebook group. Because right now, I think with all of the turmoil that's going on, there was a lot of turmoil before the recent weeks with COVID and everything else. And then there was still turmoil going on prior to that. And I think the biggest challenge that most of us have is, what do I say? How do I draw? How do I become more attractive without being pushy? How do I get people to raise their hand and want to join me, take a look at what I'm doing, without bragging on me? And there's a formula for that. It's a 6-step process. And in understanding that, it's key for you to find out what it is that you do well. What do you stand for? What do you stand against? What do you have desire to do? What do you have desire not to do? What do you want to avoid? What's the kind of language that you enjoy using? What kind of media do you like to promote yourself through and on? We look at all of those things. We look at all of those conversations to say there's only one place that they can find you, and that's in the center. There's a lot of ways for them to get to you, and that's what I'm going to teach you how to do, is how to expand your reach so that you can draw people into you. You're going to be able to, inside of this training, inside of this course, you'll be able to learn how to create simple PDFs, how to have your giveaways, your CTAs, your call to actions. Because many of you are beyond capable of handling 100, 200 people on your team. And I'm talking about frontline to you, not 100 people, 200 people in your organization. I'm talking about frontline to you, because everybody, the neat thing about timing, how many of you have ever spoken to somebody at a particular time? How many of you have ever repeatedly spoken to somebody, and even though you repeatedly spoke to them, they didn't disengage, but it wasn't the right time, but all of a sudden, suddenly, 1 month later, 2 months later, a year later, it was the right thing for them? That's what this your secret sauce allows people to do, is it allows them to be able to be in touch with you on a regular basis, to be able to flow into your business when it's the right time for them. The challenge is many of us don't have a way for them to flow back into us when it's the right time for them. They look for us, and most people aren't too aggressive in searching out work, right? Follow me on that. Too many people aren't aggressive in search. Jim Rohn said it this way: rarely does a good idea interrupt you. It's usually there, and you've got to find a way for it to be able to flow into it. So that's what I'm going to be teaching you on, how to find your secret sauce. I'd encourage you, part of your secret sauce is to look back at the 100 things. Part of the reason that I throw these little tidbits out is to help prepare you to find your secret sauce. So what are the 100 things that you do well? What are the 100 things you've done well over your life? Because part of your secret sauce is to realize how much of a secret sauce you are. When we have conversations with you, every time Evelyn shares a story, or if you follow Evelyn on social media at all, you fall in love with her just a little bit different each time, right? With her humor, with her sense of humor, getting off the elevator, dragging her shoe, all of these things, and you're like, wait a minute, this is like a globally known actress. Well, yeah, but every now and then the shoe breaks. So my point is that everybody needs to find a reason to fall in love with you. And the way they do that is there's more avenues for them to fall in love with you with. Because when they get to your secret sauce, that thing that is you, that core that is you, that beyond the red velvet rope, your life is different. I forget who says it. I think it's Joe Polish who says, all you need is 1,000 raving fans to set yourself up for the rest of your life. Not 10 million followers, not 100 million followers, 1,000 raving fans. Do you have 1,000 raving fans? That's the key. That's when you get to that place. That's what goes viral. That's what turns you into. Can you have 1,000 advocates? How many advocates do you have? Right? And if they're key in their core and they're able to, right? We all know the guy that hung around a couple thousand years ago, he got 12. And his 12 turned into a pretty big posse. So what are you doing to find your advocates? What are you doing to give them a chance to promote you? I know that sounds crazy, but that's what this business is about. This isn't about you constantly beating your head against the wall, looking and searching and finding and building. How do you find your advocates who go out and tell the story? What story do they want to tell? See, your secret sauce is finding their secret sauce. It's why you can work with a select group of individuals and build a large organization. Right now, if I were to go drag a couple of your people to the front line, if I were to go drag a couple of your people to the mic and say, what is your team's mission statement? What is your enroller's vision? Would it match yours? Would they have something as simple as to say, well, his primary goal is to be a better dad, better husband? How does he do that? By putting more smiles in the world. I bet there's a good chance people who I work with directly would know that. And it would be one of those things, oh, well, yeah, there's that. But all too often what happens is we get side swiped by sophistication. I'll go back to dance. When you see dance moves, when you see the Rockettes, what makes the Rockettes so amazing? What makes them world famous? The size of them, right? I think they're all taller than average. And those long legs, but it is the absolute synchronicity of them. Synchronized swimming, what makes that so unique? Everybody's hitting the mark at the right moment. The challenge with most people's business, most companies, is they have misguided energy. Not saying it's incorrect, not saying it's out of place, it's just misguided, and too many people are trying to tell a different story. People ask me, how do you get to $10,000 a month in your business? And very simple, 7-day experience. What? Yeah. Share a $29 story. That's it, period. That's how you get to 10 grand a month. Do you have an answer like that? It doesn't have to be $29. It can be whatever your price is. But when somebody asks you, how do you get to 10 grand a month? How do you get to $1,000 a month? There should be one simple answer. The secret sauce is one simple answer. Well, to get to $10,000, you need 4 people at this rank. You need 4 or 5 people at that rank, and you need 16 people doing this. Oh my gosh, shoot me. Your secret sauce is to not keep it a secret anymore. If you have to tell the story 85 different ways, and somebody's got to learn your comp plan to get to 10 grand a month, they can't get in. They can't get started. Your business is simple. It's not easy. Everybody's business is simple. It's not easy. Because the easy part is talking to people, and that's not easy. So we got to make it simpler for them to have a conversation. Isn't there a basic fundamental part of your business that you do day in, day out? Isn't there a basic core? Evelyn's in nutrition. I would say, how do you get 10 grand a month? Drink a shake a day and teach other people how to do that. Why does it have to be more difficult than that? People don't need difficult. They need simple, easy, duplicatable. How do you get to 10 grand a month? Drink a shake every day. Teach other people teach 2 people a day how to do that. That's it. That's it. Because is there anything else to it? Well, you got to learn 75 ingredients, and you got to learn why we're better than the competition. You got to learn how to shake it just right. You got to shake your tushy this way, and then when you do that, all of a sudden you're at 10 grand. Pow. Okay. Could you imagine if everybody had to have a broken sandal to get to 10 grand a month? You know how many people would be breaking their sandal? They'd be like, well, this is what Evelyn said. Fun, simple, magical. Larry Thompson teaches fun, simple, magical. Next logical conclusion. What is the next logical step when somebody has a conversation with you? If the next step is for them to think about it, let me think about it. If the next step for them is, I don't have the money, they can't see themselves doing it. How do you tell a $29 story? Can you tell a $29 story? Have you ever bought anything for $29? Yep, then you can tell this story. Yeah, but what do I do next? Tell the $29 story again. It's that simple. Come up with something that makes yours easy. How do you make 10 grand a month? Can you spend 35 minutes a day on the computer? That you're already doing. Can you spend 35 minutes a day on your phone? That you already do. Anybody have the Instagram timer that tells them when they spent 2 hours on Instagram? What time does that pop up for you? What time does your timer tell you you've been 2 hours on Instagram? Sometimes, depending upon the days, sometimes mine pops up by noon because I'm responding or replying to all of the requests. and I'm replying to all of the people who have tagged me in a post, which I'm grateful for. But even that has gone down. Why? Because people get, I don't want to say lazy, but there's 69 people that are on this call. 4 people will post this call out. Too many people. What happens is that, you know why people stop following you? Because they think you stopped doing what you said you were doing. Some of you would say, great mentorship call. And now you're not putting up the mentorship call. I don't care whether it's mine or somebody else's, but everybody wants to know you're sharpening your saw. And if you're not promoting somebody else, well, you go, well, I keep promoting them. Listen, you want to know the secret sauce? None of it's yours. It's how you've acquired all of your learnings to turn it into you. What are people looking at you for? What do people ask you for? What is that thing you do well? I don't care if it's cooking. If it's cooking, then you should be teaching, you should be doing some cooking in addition to your business. You need to do what comes easily, simple, naturally, because when you do what comes easy, simple, naturally to you, people start to go, well, I want to do more of what you do. How do you afford to do that? What do you do to create income? That's always the question. That's always the question. So what do you do for income? What do you do for, because if you're doing what you're doing for fun, you'll find a lot more people who want to join you in fun versus frustration. You look at our pink robe lady when she does her goofy videos, and they're not really goofy, but they're just her. People fall in love with her. People are starting to when they call her, they're starting to shout out, "Hey y'all," when they answer the phone. Do you have a tagline? When we end the call every day, I said, "And I'll see y'all where?" And y'all finish it. What's your tagline? Oh, well, that seems corny. You're right. I'm rich. Let's move on. That's part of my secret sauce. How are you? Outstanding. I knew you were going to say that. Well, why shouldn't people know that you're going to say that? Aren't people coming to you for some, listen, for today, in today's society, right now, this week, today, this moment, wouldn't somebody like to go to some place where they could have some fun, where they could count on somebody being in their corner? Wouldn't that make a huge difference in their life if somebody showed up that they could count on, that there could be some consistency to, that they could come and they could sit down and take off their weights and go, what are you doing? How are you staying so calm? How did you not get mixed up in all of this mess? Because here's what I know. Jim Rohn said, you know what? This year's going to be a lot like last year. Next year's going to be a lot like this year, mixed with opportunity and frustration. Isn't that what tomorrow's going to be, mixed with opportunity and frustration? And probably the day after that? And the day after that? Well, how many of you have ever had your business take off because somehow you correlate the fact that you gave something to the universe, it comes back, right? Karma. I can tell you, listen, it's just a marketing experience for me. It's a marketing experiment. There's days that people will send me messages and I'll get the messages back and I'll go back and look at how many times. I'll look back up at the list when I get these. You won't believe what happened to me today messages on Instagram. And I'll go back up and look and see how many times they shared out my information. I go, well, I could tell you why. Because it's not just me. Then you go to their page, you go to their story, and you see how many times they've shared out other people's stuff. How many of you understand YouTube? How many of you understand YouTube as a search engine? If you understand YouTube as a search engine, type SE in the chat. So YouTube is absolutely a search engine. And do you know how YouTube advances and moves things up? in the description, if there's a website to something other than you, it's YouTube goes, oh, they're showing the love. That's called an algorithm. If you put in your search, in your description of your YouTube channel, it doesn't have to be at the very top, but if you listen, you can put up to 5,000 characters. That's a bunch of words you can put in a YouTube description. That's a search engine, and every word becomes searchable. So if you're doing YouTubes, right? Guess what? If we were to start a foot race today, I'm 475 steps ahead of you. That's why you should be recording everything you do and putting it up, even if you keep it unlisted. Because the day that you list it, the day that you make it public, all of that now becomes searchable. I say all of that to say, when the algorithms of society, when the algorithms of joy and love go searching out, they're going to find out how they're looking for how much joy and love you put out into the world. How many live videos, how many smiles did you create? Well, Sean, there's no algorithm for that. Yeah, there is. It's called life. It's called karma. What are you doing to help promote others? What are you doing to help others' days get a little bit brighter? How many of you saw Rhonda's husband on either cleaning the garage or on the elliptowalker, Mr. Wordsmith? What are you doing? How you doing? Good. Say something. My point is that why are his videos twice as much? He's not even the one that posted it. He's not even the one that posted the video. And because he loves his bride, he's like, oh, good God. There's a guy that I follow on TikTok. I don't know what his bride looks like, but he's this older, and he's always in his workshop. And he'll be doing something, and she shows up with the phone, and he just goes, oh, good Lord. What? My point is, are you swapping up? Are you changing up your story enough that people go, oh, look what they're doing now? So Rhonda has found her secret sauce. Now, she can't go, if you put the secret sauce on everything, it loses its flavor, doesn't it? So how do you create your secret sauce? Listen, Evelyn's had a secret sauce the other day called the broken shoe. Now, I would encourage Evelyn to download that to make sure she's still got the hard copy of that if she can get that, because when she does a training, as she continues to grow in her business and as she continues to excel in her gorgeousness of acting as this actress, she can always start off her introduction. She can always use that as an intro when they do her whole video that says, and now bringing to the stage, we're going to show you a 2-minute video of Evelyn, and it's all of her acting and it's all of her looking sexy. And then they weave in the, oh my gosh, you won't believe what happened. My chew, it broke. And all of a sudden it shows her sliding out of the elevator. You know what happens to the audience when they fall in love with her and go, holy crap. She does all of this, looks like a 15 on a scale of 10, and she's walking through dragging her foot. Drag. Do you think every woman in that audience goes, okay, let's get real? Do you realize what kind of an intro video that would be? Oh, and by the way, ladies, things like that happen to me almost every day. How many of you have something happen to you like that almost every day? Now she's no longer the icon. She's now the one they fall in love with. Your secret sauce is absolutely unique. Too many of you are trying to be somebody else. It's those little stories. It's those little stories that we need. It's those little moments where life just absolutely kicks you in the shin, and you can either go, I don't want anybody to know about that. Why not? Imagine if you understood how to build your secret sauce. Imagine if you understood how to create the world that you desire. Listen, when COVID came and businesses shut down, there's other businesses making tons of money. With the protests, listen, all money is doing is flowing from different places. There's people making tons of money off the protests. Think about all the people that all of the contractors that called to that got called to go board up windows. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying money flows no matter what the situation. Can you find a way to put yourself in that flow? And that's called your secret sauce. Every one of you has something wildly unique that nobody, listen, I can Google the how out of your business. You can Google the how out of my business. But you know what nobody can Google? You. They can't Google you. They can Google the hell out of your business and your technology and your back office and everything. But you know what they can't Google? You know what they will never, ever find on Google? Even if you've got 475 videos on YouTube, they still can't get me. They still can't get you. And that's what people are going to pay for. The reason that people say they don't have money is because they figure out that you're not worth it. And they just say, I don't have money to get started in your business. They don't see the value in you. That's why, can you tell? Listen, y'all know Sharon from Vegas? That little gorgeous mama who's 74 with the hair, the gray hair, who sits there and she has these 2 major degrees and she speaks fire when she talks. She sold anybody ever hear of Liberty League? She sold $20,000 packages. $20,000 packages. She could tell a $20,000 story. Sometimes it's hard to tell a $29 story. We try to make it a $200 story. Your $250 story. It's not that hard of a story to tell. You know what's making it hard? Is you telling everybody what the hell is all behind the $250. There's 17 levels of this, and there's this, that, and the other, and there's this, that, and the other, and you got to learn this, and blah, blah, blah. It's a $250 story. It ain't that tough. You're trying to sell the company. Zig Ziglar said sales is a transference of enthusiasm. Why aren't you worth $250? Why aren't you worth $2,000? You are. Until your story shows up, right? What's that phrase they say? Nobody knows. I'm just going to say it the way it is. Nobody knows how stupid somebody is until what?
Until they open their mouth.
And take away all disbelief. How do people know you're confident? How do people know you're not confident? How do people know you're sure? How do people know you're scared? As soon as you open your mouth. As soon as you start talking. And there's a difference between being sure in your shoes or being a show-off. How many people have begged you to join your company? How many people have begged you to join you? See, you got to work on your presentation. You got to work on being the red velvet rope. You got to work on being the guardian at the door, the bouncer at the door that says, let me check the list, see if you can get in. How many people do you think are going after your audience? How many people are going after your audience? How many people are wanting to gain their eyeballs? How many people are wanting to gain their checkbooks? How many people are wanting to gain their likes, to have them click a like, to have them click a follow? How many other people are wanting to get those eyeballs? And seriously, I'm sure there's people who have figured it out, but how many people, when they get TikTok famous, does their life forever change? Are you worrying about being TikTok famous? Unless you're Lena and Lena, the twins, or somebody else, what do you get paid from all of your followers? And if that platform shut down, if God forbid TikTok shut down yesterday, how many of those people have any access to their 1 million followers, to their 5 million followers? I don't think one of them has taken 10% of them offline to be able to have a way to communicate with them. Your 16,000 followers on Instagram, do you have the emails to all of those folks? Do you have your advocates? Have you given them a reason to go promote you? Is there a way for you to talk to them offline? Your secret sauce doesn't work if you ain't got nobody to spread it on. Yeah, but I don't know what to do. Good answer. I'll give you Jim Rohn's answer. Until. Platforms come and go. Platforms get shut down. They get bought out. The algorithms change. Are you getting rewarded for your time online? And nobody's been able to go to the bank and get a loan based upon the number of followers you have. Yeah, we like to see a big number. You know how many of the 30,000 people on my team follow me? 100. 100. Why don't the other 29,800 follow you? That's not where they're at. I know where my audience is. I go to my audience. I find a way to find the advocates to share the message. Too many of you are deluded. Too many of you, your secret sauce is deluded because they have too much access to you. They know too much about you. Because you think, well, if that didn't work, this didn't work. You got to get them. You got to give them the insider's secret. You got to give them the insider's club, but that's got to be offline. Some of us have had some pretty deep conversations, but the ones who are on my team know me more than you all do. What is your secret sauce? And I'm going to encourage you, when you find it, it'll be the same for the rest of your life. Because what's made you to this point will always be what's made you to this point. And understanding the wheel of marketing and the spokes of how you drive people to you, there's another 15 areas where you could be driving folks to you that'll never find you on social media, but they'll find you in other avenues, simple, easy, fundamental, fun, magical ways that you can find people and allow them to flow into your life. Every one of you is worthy of an interview. Every one of you should be being interviewed on podcasts. You should be interviewing each other. But when you do these, when you have these conversations and you have these amazing Zoom what happens afterwards? How do you, your secret sauce should be flowing into them regularly. I love that. Listen, everybody says email's dead. Some of you all join up on an email list of mine, and the first email I go out, you unsubscribe and never open the email. Okay, awesome. I can see why you don't think email works. And I don't know if you have an automatic system, an automated system that unsubscribes you, because it is that fast. I mean, you got to be sitting at your computer to unsubscribe. I click it and unsubscribe shows up before somebody even clicked on open. How, you got to have one hell of a system to keep your email empty. And you're somebody who knows me. I look at the email address and go, I just spoke to them. And it unsubscribes. You're going to have a hard time in business. Because I don't care who you are, email is still the king of connection. You may think it's not. For what we do, the level of connection that we should have, yeah, that's going to be key. So that's what we're doing. That's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. I'll have all of that place for you to go give me your email so that you can get on the webinar. And then if you want to decide to do it, we can have that conversation that says you can join. Listen, I'm going to tell you this. It's going to be $297 for the 4-week class, but it'll be $97 for everybody that's on here. So when it goes live, it'll go live for a week for anybody on the Daily Awakening, and anybody you want to share with it. Then it'll go another week at $197, and then the last week $297. So I'm just giving you a heads up, because what I keep hearing on here and what I keep seeing is needed here is for you guys to have a truly and there's going to be a Facebook group. Oh my God, get on Facebook. Yes, there's going to be a Facebook group called The Secret Sauce, right? And in there we'll be you guys be having some conversations, and it's going to be a community for you to share ideas. No recruiting, no presenting your business, but this is just a one-time deal that is, I haven't done it before. I haven't done it like this. I do it with my groups, the people I mentor. But what I'm hearing now and the way I'm seeing the world tilt a little bit, every one of you that's these staunch believers in humanity need a little tweak to help you get your secret sauce in place. Hey, good morning, Eve. Let's go to Eve in Miami.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Tony. Thank you so much.
Good morning. Eve, your connection just got sideways, or is it me? I can see you perfectly, but I can't hear you.
It's hard to hear her.
Not
Yeah,
you, Sean.
Let's see.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Okay. Yeah, the sandal was like out of this world, first of all. I put some cute dress, and then he left me like this, and I didn't say that. I almost bust my teeth out, like. But anyway, that was not the point. I wanted to share something in particular that happened yesterday. Yesterday was a very weird day. I woke up normal, did everything that I do, didn't work out in the morning because I was a little too sore. And then I decided to listen to the call while I was walking, and I went downstairs, but I just felt like this sense of like peace and calmness. Very deep, very deep. My husband wasn't home. So after the call finished, I came back home and I sat down to do my journaling. And then I wrote 1-2 pages, but then I started brushing into tears. And I did something that I never done before. And I just I just went a whole page, like thanking myself and saying sorry to myself for not believing in me for so long, for not accepting me, for not, like, I say so many beautiful things for me. And it was funny because it was like two people was talking. And that was something that caught my attention. And then I was going from back to back, from first person and second person. And it was just like, I told myself that I was very proud of myself, that I was proud of my courage, that I was proud of my boldness, that I was so thankful for the balls that I have to do everything that I get to do. That I love myself so much. Like, it was so crazy, everything that I wrote yesterday about myself. And then my then continued going, but it was just like this feeling of gratitude. Also in the meditation, I keep repeating myself or hearing this voice saying, why you keep asking for something that God already give you? You know, when God give you something, you already have it, so you don't ask for it anymore. So you just be thankful for it. And so I start receiving my business and the success that I wanted in my business and the people that I wanted it in my business. And I'm being grateful for the achievements that I already received. And I just wanted to share that.
So Eve, with this awakening,
Mhm.
what doubt has showed up? Where have you potentially doubted yourself? Now that you said all these wonderful things and you realized that the things that you were doubting, what is the new level of doubt that shows up?
It's kind of like I keep going back to the numbers in my business. Even though that I just check my paycheck and my paycheck increase. And before I was feeling very down because for quite some time, I went very low with what I was doing. Um, but I feel very thankful because I finally got it back. And it might not be what I want, but it's growing. And I have this feeling that right now, that the compact effect, like now I feel there is something backing me up. Before I felt that I wasn't enough or that I was not doing enough. So now not only have the reassuring that God is with me and that He is providing and He already gave it to me, but I feel that my actions at some point, the compact effect is gonna come and it's gonna come, the result is gonna come. And even though that the numbers are not where I want, and I continue going. Sometimes I put a poll on Instagram asking for clients or asking for people, and I see the numbers not moving, no people saying hi, what's up? Like I want, I and going back to like it's okay, it's done, it's here, it happened. I don't have to get worried, but it's still that little fear there that the numbers are not moving. But that's kind of like the only thing that I can feel.
Okay. So some numbers had to move for for the money to go up. So is it fair to say the numbers did move?
Yes, they did.
So the numbers did move and the numbers are moving. And
Yeah.
and the reason the numbers moved up, is it because you were doing more worrying or less worrying?
Less worry and more service.
Hmm. So do less, be more. Be more of who you are, because worrying isn't who we're designed to be. We don't come out of the womb chewing on our nails. We don't come out of the womb constipated and worried.
Yes.
So you having more fun, what's going to happen is that the audience that needs to find you is moving towards you now. Because the audience that sees you isn't the audience, right? Einstein said the problems that are man-made can't be solved by the same mindset that created them. What I say is what got you here can't get you out of here. So what got you to this moment where you are right now is not going to be the same thing that gets you to the next level. Because if you knew the how, you'd be doing it. So we don't know the how. So the numbers, so the posts that you're putting up and the numbers aren't moving, that I'd keep doing it, or I'd do something different. But we don't know the how. That's not going to be the place where your success comes from, what you've done in the past. It's going to be something new. You've entered into a new thing. You've entered into a new way. You've entered into a new energetic level. Right? Yesterday was a new energy. And you giving joy to yourself, you giving claims to yourself. What if you did a video teaching women to take a moment? You know how many women are just like you in 20 years have never sat down and given themselves a paragraph of gratitude? That's huge. And for you to say, and for you to sit there and share it with us is even bigger. But you know how many women, listen, ladies, because everybody's saying they must be soul sisters with you. I'm seeing different things in the chat. How many of you have sat down and wished you could have done what Eve did yesterday? Just sat down and gave yourself some gratitude, some joy. You see in the comments? You want to know where your next tribe comes from, Eve? Right there. You take some gorgeous Colombian women. Do you think you're Colombia, right? That's where you're from, yes? Do you think in Colombia there's a little bit of sexism that goes along in Colombia, especially like in Medellin and Cali, right? You've got to look a certain way, act a certain way. And God forbid you give yourself the time of day. I don't know. I think maybe you hit on something there. Just understand that what you've done is taking you to a whole new level. And in this frontier, you don't know what it looks like. So you're standing in the frontier. You're standing in the frontier. You're not standing at the edge. You are in the frontier. If there's doubt, great. What's possible? Everything. This is why you getting to your secret sauce, understanding your secret sauce, that it exudes in everything you do. It's why I'll end everything that I do, whether any Facebook Live, this, that, or the other. I'm Sean Murphy, founder of Mental Profits. I'll see you where? Everybody knows what's going to happen. That's part of my secret sauce. You deserve to have your secret sauce. It could be a saying. It could be a phrase. It could be a word. How many of us, some of you aren't old enough, but anybody who ever remembers Carol Burnett, she would end her song, "I'm so glad we had this time together," and she would always pull on her ear. Jimmy Durante, "Good night, Mrs. Calabash," wherever you are. Everybody has their little saying. Nike, "Just do it." McDonald's, "I'm loving it." You don't have to be a big business to act like one. What is your phrase? What is your slogan? What is your saying? What is the thing that drives people to you? When they think of this, your name should be the one that pops up. And it's not about your business. It could be, but it's not. Nobody's thinking, when I think Herbalife, that's who I think of. No, when I think beautiful nutrition, maybe that's it. When I think of wholeness, maybe that's it. But nobody's ever going to think of the brand you represent as you. They already have it. The company's already the brand. You're the advocate. You're the one that that creates the secret sauce, the blending of that, of acting, of this, of that. of finding, you know, you should do a training on finding your dream husband. You got him. You picked it. Right? So where did you get the recipe for that? I picked my bride. And I was so strong in my bride, my mom had to find the recipe. I had the recipe. She had to go find the ingredients and put it together. My mom spent 7 months behind the scenes searching for my bride. I don't like to tell anybody that because I like people to think I found her on my own, but I had nothing to do with it. My mom had to find my bride. Well, I'm okay with that. Jewish mom, following tradition. Yenta was in full motion. So Eve, congratulations on it. There is a secret sauce that you carry that is highly energetic, that people, it would make sense for people to be in line for you having a waiting list of people to talk to, not the other way around, not you wondering where they're going to come from. But see, most of us don't have a waiting room. We have a 60-second video on some social media platform, and there's no place for them to go get more. How many of you ever binge watch? You turn on Netflix and you turn on Netflix and you watch a whole season in an afternoon. Nobody wants to wait every week for the show to come out. The challenge is that most people can't binge watch. They can't binge watch on a story. See, the story was to keep people coming to the platform, not to keep people coming to you. When you realize that you have to tell a new story every day, now people can find you. But the idea of having a story that's 24 hours, the idea of being able to put up a story that somebody could watch for 24 hours, it's awesome. But most people don't go back and put up another story. And does any of your stories, two things, does it give people a commercial to change the station? How many people change the commercial in a station, to change the station during a commercial? So what's your content? Does your secret sauce come out? Are you guiding people on what to do? Too many people have some amazing stories to tell, but there's no lesson in it. Could you imagine if every page of a great book, the last 2 pages were ripped out? How many times would you read the damn book? Oh, I had this, and happened to me. See you tomorrow. Oh, what am I supposed to do with that? Educate. Give them a direction. Give them a task to do. Give them homework. We're called world leaders for a reason, not world educators. Lead them. Give them a call to action. Give them some homework. People want to be a part of something. People want to do things for us because we're the ones in the front of the room. The one with the pen in the front of the room makes the most money. If you're on social media, you're in front of the room with the pen. I don't even know what platform it was, but how many of you saw the post of Daniela and Kevin together? And they're getting ready to put an offer in on a house. And after what we heard yesterday, it's like, well, I'm going to go looking. I found a new place. I found something. I found a way I can do to achieve my success with what I have. And then all of a sudden the offer comes in. That's okay. But you put an offer in. 2 months ago, that wasn't even a thought. Does that help, Eve?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so very much.
You're welcome, my love.
Thank you, everyone.
Let's go to who's got their hand up here? Bakumi. Good morning, Bakumi.
Hi, Sean. How are you?
I'm so much better now that I hear your voice.
Thank you. Hey, everyone. Okay, so I was reminiscing on yesterday's what do you call this? A daily awakening call. I've been here for so long and I don't know how to call it. But I was like, I was just thinking because you were talking about talent for a little bit, and Moshe talked about it as well. And you were talking about it and how I've always heard the saying like, don't go to the graveyard. No, what's the richest place in the
Yeah,
world? Like,
don't die with your music inside.
yeah, that one. And then it's always like, don't go, like the richest place on earth is the graveyard or whatever. And
Yep.
I heard it so many times. I was like, yeah, like, you know, where you're like, yeah, like, don't, yeah. But I was about to do the same thing. Like, I was, I mean, I'm not gonna die now. That sounded so weird. But I mean, like, I kind of like, I was thinking to myself, I was like, there's a lot of different talents in me that other people may not consider talents, but God has given to me specifically for me in order for me to deliver to the world. And I haven't even uncovered them yet, because I feel like the world has labeled what a talent is and what a gift is, and that may not be the same way that God may label it. And so I was thinking, like, because obviously you look at singing, you look at dancing, you look at like painting, and you're like, that's definitely a talent. And like, if you can't sing, then it really sucks for you, like that kind of thing. But
Yep.
there's a lot of different. I just keep thinking about what you're saying, and I don't know why it just hit me yesterday. But it was like, there's so many different things. And even I was thinking, immediately my mind went to the scripture when Jesus was talking about how you shouldn't he said a parable, and how there was one guy in the parable that got a talent and he just buried it and he didn't do anything with it. And it was like the owner, I feel like you should go read it because I'm not explaining it well, but it's in Matthew. But he got the master who gave him the talent got annoyed that he didn't use the talent at all and he just buried it. And I was like, am I really about to do the same thing? Like, I was fully like, not looking down on other people, but it kind of gets into your head. It's like, yeah, I'm doing this, but I really haven't even unlocked anything that I have, like, at all. Like, I've gone through the bare minimum. And it's just, thank you for saying that yesterday, because I feel like it's really hit me, and I'm just thinking of different ways that I can really use myself. That was the first thing. And then I can't lie, this call really confused me. Like, I was kind of like, yeah, this is really powerful. And then I was like, oh, I really don't know what is going on right now. Because I was like, I wrote so many different questions. Because I was like, you were like, people don't know enough of you. And then you were like, people know too much. And I was like, wait, what?
Let me explain that.
Okay.
They know enough that they don't want to know anymore. Because they've seen too much of the same thing. There's nothing else to know about you. They think they know everything about you. So let me just put it this way. Not that it's ever happened to me, but how many times have you ever gone on a first date and you're like, well, I'm going to use like 1960s language. I don't go all the way on the first date. Too many of you are going all the way on your social media, and everybody thinks they know everything about you, and there's nothing else to know. Why buy the cow when I can get the milk for free? But Kumi, there is so much more to you that we know more. I know more about you. And if you add up the time that you and I have spent together, there is people who have spent more time with you that don't know half of the things I know about you.
That is a fact. That is a fact.
But why is that? Well, because I don't want everybody to know. Well, everybody that's been around me knows. But here's what I do know. What I know about you is still the tip of the iceberg.
Whew, sorry, that just gave me chills.
And there's more about you that is alike in everybody on the planet than there is different. And we have yet to, we get to see your vibration from time to time, and we all fall in love with it. And when we don't hear your voice, our days are a little bit darker. So how do you find the ability to share your voice every day? we hear it at the end of the call, and it makes my heart sing. Because I listen to whose voices I hear at the end of the call. And it does. Those are injections. Those are injections of joy, of gratitude, of thankfulness that I get to take with me, right? Jim Rohn says it this way: a little bit of me goes with you, but know this, a little bit of you goes with me every day. So what little bit are you giving with people? What little bit are you giving with to those who are around you? What uniqueness? What they goes, wait, there's something behind the rest of this. This Bakumi thing is like pretty big. It's because somebody told you you're not enough. And I can tell you all of this, the 61 of you on here, you're more than enough for everyone. It's time for you to be more than enough for you. So your secret sauce is, see, when you find your secret sauce, this will all sink in. I don't know that anybody's taught you to find your secret sauce, because your secret sauce is no place other than inside you.
Yeah.
It's not in the good book, because it's got to be inside of you for the good book to make sense. It's not inside of you for the next personal development training tape or series or webinar or whatever. Your secret sauce is inside of you. It is dealing with the addiction to approval. So they know, here's the challenge. They know too much about you, but they don't know enough, is because they know enough about you of things they want to say no to, not things they want to say yes to. They don't know enough about the things they want to say yes to. We're standing marketing on its ear, aren't we? And it doesn't like it. Yeah, but I'm supposed to show the program. Who the hell wants to see the program? I'm supposed to go for no. How sexy is going for no?
Not sexy.
Not sexy at all. Listen, when you look like this, you get a lot of no's in life, especially if you were asking girls out. Which is why I don't ask girls out. My mom had to find one in my 30s. I'm truly Irish. They asked the Pope when he went to Ireland, and he was at the main college in Shannon, and they said, "Holy Father, what nationality do you think Jesus was?" He said, and he didn't say it in an Irish brogue. He said, "Well, he had to be Irish." And they said, "What do you mean he had to be Irish? Who else is 32 still living at home with their parents?" There's something that people want to say yes to you for. But listen, Bakumi, when you sat the other day, like with nothing coming out of your mouth, but vibrating so high of energy on your bed, we all wanted to be sitting with you. We all wanted to be sitting at your feet going, "What's she doing? What's she doing? What's going on here? How's this going? Can I get in that energy?" And you weren't saying a dang thing. You were just being.
That was a weird thing.
It was a weird thing. So all that to say, yes, the challenge is on social media, people know too much about you. But they know too much about you to say no to. They don't know enough about you to say yes to. And you know how easy it is to get people to go find your yesness? If everybody's going left, you go right. I doubt there were very many novella actresses the other day dragging their shoe down the hall of a building. That makes Eve unique. What's too much? Listen, if I can tell what business you're in and what company you're in, that's too much.
Okay. Right.
If I can tell what it is that you do for income, that's too much. Exactly, crap. And that's because when people teach you that, Ann, is because they want you to promote them, not you. I want you to promote you. Listen carefully, everybody. When you learn to build the business that's on the business name that's on the side of your mailbox, not your check, Your life will change forever.
Woo! That was saucy.
Stop building the name that's on your check. They don't care about you. They do. They'll send you a check, but they're only supposed to do two things. Have a website, have customer service, send you a check. Build the name that's on your mailbox, not the name that's on your check. This way, what if all of a sudden somebody does something really stupid in your company? Let me ask you this. Has anybody ever known a company where the owner of the company does something stupid?
Yeah.
And if the owner of the company can do something stupid and your check walks away, whose fault is that? Yours or theirs?
Mine.
Well, it's yours, but can you control that? And if your check walks away, we're in a volunteer army. Do your volunteers walk away? And they do, because you taught them all about the company. You didn't teach them about you. You didn't teach them about them. Some of you have changed companies on this call and you still come to me. Why do you still show up on this call? You changed companies. Some of you have gotten out of the business. Some of you have started in the business. Why does it make sense to still come here? Because I'm not building your company. I'm building you. That's my secret sauce. I will build you no matter where you stand to throw the bricks and build your concrete and build your building and build your story. How is it possible? How is it possible that there's 8 countries on this phone call? Because we're not talking about building a regional business. That way, I can get very specific. I've built in 40 plus countries. I can tell you exactly how to build in 40 different countries. Listen, I could talk to Eve about how to build in Colombia and how to build with Colombians in Miami, how to build with Miamians, how to build with Cubans in Miami. It's totally different conversation. How to build with Puerto Ricans in Miami, how to build with Puerto Ricans in New York, how to build with Puerto Ricans in Puerto Rico. It's all different. That's why scripts do not work. I could build with Puerto Ricans in Athens, Texas. I can build with Mexicans. I can build with Mexicans who are in Colombia. I can build Mexicans. Listen, you want to talk about some racial conversations? You give me a Puerto Rican and a Cuban in the same room, there's going to be some conversations. Green side up. What the hell do you keep yelling out the window? Green side up. Hey, there's a Puerto Rican gardener out there. Got to tell him which way to throw the sod. Green side up. It's like, oh my God. You got to build you. Don't build your company. Nobody should know what company you're in. Oh, well, you should be proud of your company. I'm not saying to not be proud of your company, but if somebody tells you that you should be proud of your company, they don't understand human nature at the tiniest degree. What do we have access to 24/7? The world. My cousin Google knows everything. Not as much as my bride, but almost as much. So soon as I say I'm part of this company or I'm part of that company, great, let me go search it. And what do you think I'm going to find? All of the wonderful things about your company or all of the negative things about your company? And you've already set yourself up to have a conversation about defending your position versus developing the individual you're talking to. When you understand your secret sauce and you start presenting through your secret sauce, you don't get those objections anymore. Because when you learn the language that says, listen, if I were to have a conversation with you, if I were to say something to you that you don't know, does that mean you should not do it? We don't know how to set the stage. You've not been taught how to set the stage to have a conversation so that as soon as you mention the name of your company, it makes perfect sense why they don't know the name of it. Versus, I don't know the name of that, I should be scared. or I've heard the name of that, and all I've ever heard is bad press because they're a multi-billion-dollar multinational company. The name of your company, it has already been said by 1,001 other people. They were probably in it 20 years ago. Nobody is joining your business. They are joining you in a business model that allows them to have success they've never had before. Of course, they're scared to death because you showed up with trepidation all over your breath and commission breath. And when you realize that they're as scared as you are, they're even more scared when they feel yours. Because here's the thing. The easiest way to have success is with what we know or with what we don't know. This is a trick question. With what we don't know. Because our success is holding us. That's why I say this phrase. My goal is to talk you out of your success. What? Are you where you want to be? No. So would you consider yourself successful? Yes. Can I talk you out of that so that you could have more? I'm just very sure in what I do. And here's what I know I can do. I can help you get to the next level because you know the next step. I just know how to ask better questions than the average bear. So when I say they don't know enough about you, but they know too much about you to say no to. What is it that makes you unique that they'd want to say yes to? How many of you have told the stories of people you have helped in your lifetime? Because that's what people are looking for is, have you helped people who are like me so that if I join you, you can help me? How many people will you be about to speak to, for those of you in the financial world? How many of those people do you think you're about to speak to need some extra income? How many times have you told the story of people you've helped generate more income? Listen, one of my business partners yesterday was able to get a birthday cake for their kid. I helped somebody recently create enough income they can go get a Father's Day gift with their daughter for their husband and not have to pull any money from out of their savings account. You want to know how much work I really did? I hardly did any of the work. But I get to tell that story. I get to tell the story that a mom of 9 years married now gets to go get her husband a gift without saying, I'm going to take some money out of the account to get you a gift. Do you know how many moms want to know what the hell I'm doing? That they can have their own money, their own mad money, go do what they want, when they want, where they want, how much they want? Does that have anything to do with my business model? Nope. But guess what story I get to tell? I didn't say, you're fat, you should be losing weight, join me. But that's what they're going to hear eventually. You need to you need to shed a couple of pounds. You need to stop having little kids run near you for the shade. Let's go.
Oh my God.
But that's what somebody say. You should be here. I'm not talking about you. But that's what happens is that we always talk about the result. We never talk about the mission. My mission is to give moms the ability to go get their husbands any Father's Day present they want. Is anybody going to ask me, okay, so how do you do that? And what's the FDA say about your product? Nobody can Google that. Nobody can Google the screw ups. Because the why is bigger than the how. Does that help, Bakumi?
It does, but I feel like it's just brought up more questions, but I don't want to take up
And it
everyone's
has,
time.
but here's the thing. What makes Bakumi tick? That's your
Is that
secret sauce.
is that a question that
Yeah,
you want
that's
me
a
to ask?
secret. Well, I mean, you probably don't know the answer to it because you've only tiptoed around it 1,001 times. This is why marketing can become very easy when your secret sauce is there. Listen, I don't teach this class to the general public because it's a year-long class. Y'all get a lot of benefit from being on here. You know, I have students who pay an awful lot of money that don't even show up here. They know about it. It's no fee. They think because they're paying 10 grand a month, they're getting something special. They kind of are. But the reality is that this is another one of those moments. This is a turning moment where I'm going to go, okay, I can't stand this anymore. If I'm having this conversation with you in an hour and 20 minutes, I'm having this conversation with icons, with people who are doing their best to build their business. And this stuff sounds like I'm speaking Martian language. I got to wonder who's been teaching you. So this is where I have to draw the line in the sand again and go, okay, I'm going to tick off a lot of people, but I don't care anymore. You gotta have this information. So that's why I'm going to do this class. I'll probably suck at it, but I'm sure I'll get better.
To be fair, a lot of what you're teaching, a lot of what you're saying completely goes against everything I've been taught. So like, I feel like that's where the conflict, and because I learned from them first, I feel like, as Moshe said, it's like unloading.
This is why it's personal undevelopment.
Yeah. Honestly.
So
because I
can
even
I
had a
speak
problem
to-
with my, Sorry, who was talking? You want to talk?
No, that was Rhonda.
Let me speak to that right quick, just to give y'all an example. So Sean teaches kind of the 180 of where everybody else teaches. Like you said, Bukumi, everybody teaches the direct opposite. And I am kind of the proof in the pudding, so to speak, that what Sean teaches and the way he teaches us to do it, as you grasp it and as you apply it and stay with the application, crazy things happen for you, because they did for me, and I didn't even know they happened. I didn't even know they happened until somebody told me they happened, because I'm so not focused on the outcome. I'm just focused on, well, I guess you could almost kind of say the secret sauce, and I didn't even know I was focused on the secret sauce. Really, couldn't you, Sean? After yesterday?
Well, you could. I've always known it.
Well, that's the difference between the mentor and the student. So that's me becoming aware of myself and my secret sauce, because in our company, the way the majority of the people grow this, I don't do that. I do what Sean has taught me. But what's crazy, and I'm going to give myself a moment here. What's crazy is yesterday I was recognized out of, I don't know how many people there are, Sean. You know the numbers better than I do.
I don't. In what?
The Club 150.
Oh, inside the Club 150, the ones that made it, there was 27 that made it.
And there was the top 12.
Right.
And your girl was one of them. I had no clue, because I didn't build it anything like they said. Y'all don't understand. I'm not one of those people that are supposed to be in the top 12.
What?
According to the rules of how it's supposed to build. Correct, Sean?
I don't know the rules.
Right. But I mean, as far as the way, not what we do.
Right.
So what he's teaching you works. It works. The point is, he told you, Bakumi, and you're like, this is directly the opposite of what we've been taught. So I guess the question would be, if you like the results you're getting with what you've been taught, stick with it. And if you don't, there's another way that really, really catapults you. And it's, Michael Todd said it the other day, Pastor Michael Todd, and he said it like this. He said, God funds his plan for your life. And as I line up with exactly who he made me to be, the secret sauce that's inside of me being utilized the way he designed it to be, it's funded by him. And that's unlimited. And then it becomes limitless. Because what Sean does is, with the personal undevelopment, he takes the out of it. And it becomes limitless. Does that make sense how all that came out?
Yeah.
Or sound crazy?
Well, it made sense, but you're still crazy.
Makes sense.
I want to stay crazy. I want to stay. If this is what crazy nets me, man, let me stay crazy all my life.
For real.
Well,
Yeah.
and see that right there is the gold. It's, you're crazy because everybody thinks you're crazy. Your dearest friends think you're crazy. Everybody around you thinks you're crazy. Nobody knows what you're doing, thinks you're crazy. And that's what people want. People want more crazy good in their world.
I feel like that. I've always kind of known that. Like, I feel like
We all do. We all do.
But I feel like it's just like getting the like it's like, I've just been told that you have to, it's like, for so long you have to do it like this. You have to be professional. You have to wear suits. You have to wear this, and it's like, oh, like I'm just. It's like,
y'all remember?
Yeah. Oh.
Y'all remember the kid in class that you always looked over and you were like, what in the world is that kid doing?
I feel like that was me.
It might have been you. But the one kid in class where you're like, Earth to wherever, where are you? Be that kid. I have a friend whose kid the other day sat down to dinner with her. And she said, Mom, you said anything can happen in heaven, right? She's like, yeah, everything will be perfect. Anything can happen. And she was like, well, you think we can have 21 butts in heaven? Like, where in the world do you get that question? And of course, she just died laughing. And I started laughing. And then I thought, you know what? That is where that child needs to stay in her brain. That right there is that child's, now that I know a phrase to use, secret sauce. Be weird. Be that weird person that you were designed to be. I hope Sean never stops calling me weird. I hope he never stops saying, have you lost your mind? You're so weird. I hope he always says that about me. Because that will mean I'm constantly walking into the frontier. And if I don't know how to respond other than great, that means I am, because I'm speechless. Because I don't know what to say when I'm in the frontier, because I've never been there. And we were on a call yesterday with some ladies. And for all intents and purposes, y'all, I should have been cut, sliced, diced, and fed to the fishes. I had 2 Cuban women and a strong, powerful little Sharon, and they're asking questions, and I'm hitting them with straight up honesty. I should have been sliced, diced, fed to the fishes. Y'all never heard nor saw, wiped off the planet, these 3 strong women. That's what they should have done to me. But it's that being weird and being so crazy weird that they accepted it because of how different it was and is. But it's from that place of, I told them, when you get to a place where you don't know what to say, reward yourself, because now you're finally in the frontier. When you can talk all day long and you can just keep talking and teaching and talking and teaching and teaching and smiling and talking and teaching and talking and smiling, you're in the plains. But it's that moment where you're so weird that you look around and you're like, I don't have a clue what to say right now. That's what I told these ladies. When you find yourself speechless, you're looking into the frontier. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. So it's what you're saying, Bakumi, when Sean's telling you directly the opposite and your brain's going, no, 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 no. Go with it. And go with it as fast as you possibly can. Because that's the moment where, when you don't know it, the supernatural will come in. And then you'll have things happen and you'll be like, what? And it will be nothing you did other than just standing there. And you're like, what in the world? That's when you hit those frontier moments. And Sean teaches us how to get to the frontier faster. Now, mind you, he's standing in the frontier, but at times he runs back to the plains and goes, you want to know something really fun? There's really something cool right over here. It's over here. Come on. And he takes off running. We're like, ooh, that looks fun. And we run with him. And then about that time we hear people go, where are you going? We're I don't know. I'm chasing him. And it's that rubbernecking of looking back behind us that makes us stall instead of going forward. It's just like running a race. Anytime I ran track, anytime I was running the quarter mile, if I tried to pay attention to who was coming beside me or behind me, I never would win the race. But anytime I stayed focused and kept looking, I could beat them all. No question. So it's that quit rubbernecking back into the plains with, this is so different. This is so different. Great. That means if it's different, it's different results. And if it's different results, I just wrote down in my journal with the little clicky thing that y'all don't always get to get into, except on occasion. I wrote it down here. Let me see. I might even open it up and read it if I feel like I can allow myself to read it.
Please.
I don't know. I'll see. Hang on. I'll read the last bit. I'm in all my life is lining up with God's plan for my life. I'm changing the trajectory of my family, and it's changing the generational curses. It's totally changing. All because I'm weird enough to run into the frontier. And I've got Sean cheering and then every now and then kicking me where the good Lord split me, going, keep going. Don't you dare turn around. You're so close. Don't you stop it. Keep going. So one is, can you see someone speaking from the frontier? Can you hear it? Can you incline your ear to it? Can you be brave enough to run with them? And can you be soft enough in the front and hard enough in the back to where you can hear them, accept them, and then whenever you're doing something wrong and they swift kick you in the pants, you don't get butt sore over it and you just keep going and you realize they did it for your own good. That's the real East Texas version. That ain't the Sean G. Murphy Now Daily Awakening version. He'll say it with much more eloquence and different words, but that's the way I say it. That's the way it served me. So for what it's worth, there you go.
Crazy.
Thank you for letting me hijack your call, Sean.
No,
Do what?
I said crazy is good.
Listen, we need more high energetic love in the world right now. And with everything that's happening, COVID, the protests, people are needing a place to go find some joy, to be able to rest in. Right. And as Rhonda says, when you put your hand up and they put their hand up, and when you let them fall into your arms, the world needs that now. And it's going to need more of it very soon. There's one more, maybe two more escalations to this to this misplaced energy. Not saying the mission is wrong, the conversation is wrong. Misplaced energy. Because when it's all said and done, people are going to go, well, what do I have for that? So I would encourage you, like it says in Austin, Texas, keep Austin weird. Go be weird. Go be fun. Go be outstanding. Great questions, Bakumi. I love
Thank you so much, Rhonda. Thank you so much, Sean. Love you guys. That actually made so much sense. Oh, my brain is like expanding every day, and I just like can't deal. But it's good. Thank you so much.
It can only expand to the. It's kind of like a shark. It'll expand to the size of the tank it's in. You're just increasing the tank.
I mean, Sean, like, where'd you get these from? Like, I just wanted you to say these, like, just on demand.
I am 54 and lived 100 lifetimes, so I'm very good at what I do. Don't ask me the chicken cacciatore recipe. I don't know that stuff. But this stuff to help you grasp it, understand it, sink in, because information doesn't do us any good. Applied information isn't even that good. Applied correctly, the information that serves us, that changes worlds. So.
And Bakumi, you're a world changer.
You are.
You're one of those. You're one of those blips on the radar that you're a world changer. That's why you wrestle with such highs and such lows. Is because you're such a world changer. And there's this huge amount of greatness. And that's why you'll hit these super duper highs and you'll just like hover off of the face of the earth. And then there's moments where you'll just come crashing down and you're like, what the heck? I was just happy.
That is me.
I know it's you. I hear it so loudly inside of me right now. And what I'm supposed to tell you is rest in that high. Just rest in it. You don't have to be crazy, like wired. Rest in the high. You'll learn to rest in the high, and it will keep you from going into the low.
You'll get to decide when you go to the low.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. But that's what I'm hearing around you is you're such a ball of this huge amount of energy because you're this world changer, not life changer, not area changer. I keep hearing the words world changer, world changer. It's right here around you. I don't know. He'll develop that later, I'm sure, but that's what I hear right now.
That's a whole.
That's fun, girl. That's fun. Are you kidding? That is fun.
But see, here's the thing. You already know that, Bakumi. But when somebody speaks it into you, imagine, see, we're prospecting you right now to your world changingness. And you could tell me, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, but that conversation never comes up. You have yet to say to me, Sean, great idea, but I don't have the time. Great idea, but I ain't got the money to pay for that. Well, but your call is free. My call is absolutely not free. Do you know how much of your life you've given to this call?
1,000 hours, and they've been worth it.
And so that's the price I ask you to pay. Do you know how easy it would be to sell 475 episodes for $250 and nobody use it? That'd be easy. The hard part is for me to show up every day. And my job is done as soon as I click start. And I see people. Oh, there's people. How cool is that? So we're prospecting you to your greatness.
Chills.
And here's the funny thing. Now we could put a price on any bit of that. But as soon as we put a price on it, it limits your capacity. Now your business model, needs to have the story that's like that, the 250 is not even an issue. It's not an issue. The hard part is that when you leave this call to go talk to people, part of you might say, and I hope you don't, well, I got to give it all away. Sean does. Listen, I'm giving you the tip of the iceberg. It's why every time we have a conversation, I can go and you're like, how could you rattle off all this stuff? Because I'm giving you the tip of the iceberg. I've got all of these things and all of these experiences that are down so deep. Sometimes we get into those. Sometimes we dive off into those. It's to awaken you to your own capabilities. Does that help you?
It does. And honestly, I'm just so grateful for you and Rhonda and just everyone on the call. Like, it's been like a good 6 months. Like, I used to just watch it and I'll be like, nah, I'm never gonna ever talk, like, ever, never me. But now it's like I just need to talk. Like, I just need to talk. But it's like literally, as Michael said, like, you can see in the microscope like your old self, and I can feel myself growing. So I'm just so grateful for you and Rhonda.
Well, but here's we, the entire call, needs you to hear this. You can't be grateful for us if we're not grateful for you. So what you say to us, 40 folks, 40 times back, it's coming to you. That's the neat thing about the law of giving. It comes back. We don't know where. You make us all better every day. Every one of you makes us all better every day. So I've got an 8:30 call. I got to go get ready for Bakumi. I love you. RBP, wrap up.
I love you.
Step into your greatness. Step into whatever that looks like. This sounds so cheesy to say. Speak it over yourself. Give yourself the credit for showing up and for being awake and being alive and breathing and knowing that you're worth so much more. Know your worth. You're here by such a small degree of chance. We've heard it all. Swimming up the fallopian tubes. We've heard it all. Let it settle in. You are priceless. You're immeasurable. You are limitless. And you can do anything. And when you begin to turn your eye to see your value and your worth, it's pretty flippin' attractive. It's a little scary because you've never seen yourself that way. So it makes you kind of go, wait, what? But turn your eye to it, because a dedicated moment, even if it's just a few moments, a dedicated few moments every day to go, you know what? I think I might be worthy, will turn into, wait a second, I'm worthy. And then it'll turn into, I am worthy. And then it'll turn into, God, thank you for what you've put inside of me. And I'm going to turn it around like the parable of the talents, and I'm going to use it. I'm not going to hide it, because as I use it, more will come. That parable of the talents was perfect. So use your talents, y'all. Let them flow. I need them to show up, because you're going to spark something in my mind that'll make me see more of my talents. And we'll all rise. A rising tide raises all ships. And here we go. Perfect platform right here. So I hope you're encouraged. I hope you find something that lights your fire to the point where nothing can snuff it out. And if you need it relit again, come back tomorrow. We'll be here. Flamethrower ready. I love y'all.
I'm Sean Murphy, along with the amazing group of misfits. I'll see y'all where?
At the next event.
At the next event.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
I love you
Bye,
all.
Y'all have a great day.
Everybody have a great one. God bless
Bye.
everybody. Bye.
Have a blessed day, everybody. Have a beautiful, blessed day.
I love you all. Have a great day.
I love y'all. Have a great day.
Love you guys. Have a good day.
Oh, there's Beamish. Bye.
Bye.